WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys, and today I have one for you, Buffalo Trace. Single Oak Project, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, barrel number 15, 45% alcohol by volume, 90 proof. So way back in 1999, one of the master distillers here of Buffalo Trace went down to the Ozarks in Missouri and said, hey, I want 96 of your trees. Why 96? Because he says, I'm going to take the bottom half and the top half and make barrels out of them. 192 barrels in total. So of each barrel, you'll see here of the 192, you'll see top or bottom. Then you'll also have the three different types of grain of the growth rings, where you have fine grain, medium grain, or coarse grain. That's why he picked those trees accordingly. Then he divided those trees up into the staves. Then he let them sit outside for either 6 or 12 months. This was actually 12 months. And then he used a number 3 or number 4 char. Number 4 char is normal by Buffalo Trace, which is 55 seconds. And so this is also number 4 char. Then he made sure that he picked the right recipe. Was there a wheat or rye recipe? So about 72% corn, 12% wheat or rye, and the rest would be malted barley. This is the rye recipe. Then he had the barrel entry proof. Was it 105 proof or 125 proof? So 50.25 ABV or 162.25. 162.75, I'm sorry, can't do my math. And this is actually 125 proof. Then he actually put them in the wooden rack house or with a concrete floor. This had a concrete floor. So we have an 8-year-old rye. This was actually distilled on June 4th of 2003. It was bottled in February 10th of 2014. So almost the 9 years here. And then there's 192 different bottles out there. All right, casks out there. Now, each cask was released in a batch of 12. So I think that's 14, if I did my math correctly. I'm not sure, of 15 different casks releases out there. So each one was 12. This is actually release number 12. So it depends on the different things they're looking at. So they batched them together. And this is whiskey base number 73035. Original price back in 2014 was $46. Today I actually had to pay at an auction for this over 85 euros. 45%, and it's a 375 milliliter bottle. So double the price for a normal bottle in the States. So you're talking about more than an Outback 19, like a Supernova. We're talking $100, $210 for this little thing here, if you take that up to the right place. All right, so the very interesting thing is I need to have my Buffalo Trace. Where did I buy? There we go. Here's Buffalo Trace, 45%, travel retail. The interesting thing is it also has the 45%. It has 90 proof. And so the interesting thing is if you go to www.singleoakproject1word.com, you can actually register and put in your notes there as well. So 10 other people have actually reviewed the barrel number 15 online, and you can take a look at the reviews from 48% all the way up to 90%. Now, there's a couple different people who've actually reviewed all of the 129 bottles. You can go online, and this was actually given an A- by one of these people. So, who knows? All right, very good. What have I not mentioned? I think I've mentioned everything I needed to before I tried this. There were 20 rings per inch in this one, so it's a very fine. And there was total 31 staves that were made out of that top half of the tree here. Okay. The whole time I have the feeling something's missing. A little bit of the sweetness is missing. Going over here to the Buffalo Trace. Big, bold, powerful. The interesting thing is, and I think it's the fine grain of the tree as well as the 12 months outside with the natural air seasoning of the staves, is this gets a more of a European oak type of quality. There's more of a tannin, there's more of a chocolatey type of even coffee moment in there. Do I want that in my bourbon? No. Do I want that in one of my scotches? Maybe. So I think this was a wonderful experiment. I think this was an amazing idea. Over 1,900 different variations were possible here. And so this is really, really something special. Now, it ended, and one of the things that they originally had thought of is taking that recipe they had from cast number 80, 82, I think, and using that then to have the single oak project. So if they do that correctly, they will be after 8 years. So let's say they finish in 2016. So in 2022, we can look forward to maybe a special release of the single oak project. That's a lot of time. Think it happened in 1999, and then 23, 24 years later, you might actually have the final result. Wow. All right. As I said, it's a little bit buttery. There's a little bit more of a sugary brown sugar moment here, more molasses, more nuts, and here it's a little bit more refined. It's a little bit more oily. Prost, or slanchava, or cheers. It's got some oomph. It's got a little bit of power in there. There's a little bit of that black pepper in there. The 45% are somewhat hot, even though it is 8 years old. But the whole time I'm on like a tricycle instead of a car, three-wheeler. There's something missing. It's lopsided. As I said, the entire time that big bold bourbon brown sugar moment is just not there. It has a little bit of a feeling more of an artificial sweetener instead of a great brown sugar moment. Imagine you made some brownies one day, and instead of using your brown sugar, you put in your sweetener, your artificial sweetener. It's like, nah, not exactly. And that's what I'm getting here, unfortunately. Going over here. If you ever get the chance, go to the travel retail, get the 45%, the 90 proof. It is a big advantage over the normal 80 proof, and it's a little bit cheaper actually because it's the 1 liter bottle. Nice. I like Buffalo Trace products anyways. I'm not a fanboy of Buffalo Trace, but I think Buffalo Trace has not made a bad product out there. Think of the Eagle Rare. Think of Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Oh. And think of all the other great things out there that Buffalo Trace has made, are making, and hopefully will make in the future as well. So, Weller, Pappy, and so on. All right, very, very good. I'm going to give this a C- on my scale. I'm going to give it an F for the price I paid for it. I am very, very happy to be part of that history here. I'm a little bit late to the party is what I'm going to say, 5 years after this bottle was released. But hey, don't forget I'm over in Germany. Sometimes it takes longer, and I think this has been on my shelf for at least 2 years. And so I just finally got around to it. That's the thing. That's the way it is sometimes with busy people in this world. All right, so my question of the day is, where does all that oak come from? Tell me the different locations in America where you have oak. For example, Ozark, Mississippi, not Mississippi, Missouri. Yeah, Ozark, Missouri. I mentioned in the other video as well as this one now, Koval from Robert Bernheimer up there in Chicago. He uses a lot of Minnesota oak on purpose because in Minnesota the growing season, the summer are much, much shorter, and so those rings of the tree are much closer together. It's a much more finer grain. Many people want the coarse grain because it grows quicker is cheaper, and so that's okay. And not everyone air seasons their staves either. Most of them are the kiln, put them in there for, 10 hours, and then boop, you're finished, instead of leaving them outside for 6 to 12 months, which is a very, very long time, by the way. So, great experiment. Have I tried all 129 bottles? No. Do I have a second one of these? Yes. I have a different bottle number, a barrel number. I'm going to try that in the future. I look forward to that as well. So the second question is if you have ever tried any of these barrels, and if so, which barrel number did you have and what grade would you give it? I would give this more of a C minus. The guy who was doing the grading online gave it an A minus, which I can't see. But that's just me. I guess we have different expectations what bourbon, concerning bourbon. All right, Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of American. My videos come out usually on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Sometimes you get some interviews as well. Take a look at those. I've done go to some whiskey fairs or conventions or other places, and I get to interview people from the whiskey industry. That's really interesting. You can learn a lot, to be very, very honest. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell others about this crazy guy over here in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. All the best. See ya.